How did ancient smiths make perfect swords that are impossible to make even with today's technology? And what Egyptian analogs were found in Europe? Today, we'll try to find it out together. This is Infinity, and in this episode, I'll show you the most mysterious objects and artifacts that science still can't explain. Let's go! Merry Man. Geoglyphs are geometric or figured patterns drawn on the ground. People have started to create them thousands of years ago. In most cases, figures are so great that it's possible to view them only from the air. But why did ancient people need to create such giant drawings? After all, they didn't have the opportunity to get into the air to assess the result. But that's not the point right now. This is the largest geoglyph on Earth. The image stretches for 2.7 kilometers in length, and its width is from 10 to 35 meters. The Merry Man, located in Australia, is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest human art figure. But why was it created? The drawing was first spotted in 1998 by pilot Trevor Smith flying to Merry in a private plane. Given that the geoglyph is located in southern Australia, scientists believe that the man depicted on the ground is a hunter armed with a club or boomerang. The reversal of his figure resembles the pose in which Greek and Roman gods are often depicted. Some experts believe that the Merry Man is not ancient at all. It was noticed too late, which means that the geoglyph might have been created 50 to 70 years ago. For many years, scientists tried to figure out an origin of this drawing to no avail. Even offers of large sums of money for disclosure of the identity of the artist went in the course. But even after the authorities officially announced they would not conduct any legal proceedings against the creators of the drawing, willing to admit authorship was not found. Egypt is famous for its grandiose objects. The pyramids and sarcophagi of the pharaohs alone are worth a lot. But not many people know that not only the Egyptians built the pyramids in ancient times. In 2005, the amateur archaeologist Samir Osmanagic discovered several pyramids in Bosnia and Herzegovina. He immediately claimed that they were the oldest in Europe and possibly the world. And indeed, the Bosnian pyramids proved to be a sensation for the entire scientific world. However, in Bosnia itself, many scientists refused to accept that the pyramids near the town of Visoko were man-made structures. A commission from the Ministry of Culture, which was sent to investigate the pyramids, has argued that they're of natural origin. However, Osmanagic himself is convinced of the opposite, and at the same time suggests that the age of the pyramids may vary from 12 to 40,000 years. Part of the scientific community declared Osmanagic a hoaxer, while another part recognized his discovery as genius. According to the statements of Osmanagic's opponents, these pyramids are natural formations and have nothing in common with artificial constructions. And what do you think? Could the Bosnian pyramids be part of an ancient civilization, or are they really natural formations? Share your thoughts in the comments. And stay tuned to see the most cursed piece of furniture in history, learn about the mysterious Stargate, and see the most perfect ancient sword that can't even be made in modern conditions. Let's move on. Koh-i-Noor. In 1850, the Koh-i-Noor, which means Mountain of Light, ended up in Great Britain. The gift was destined for Queen Victoria. The diamond was beautiful. Experts called it the largest in the world. But Queen Victoria knew beforehand that the gem was notorious. It was believed to bring bad luck to all its owners. The history of the gem can be traced back to the beginning of the 14th century. However, it's not very reassuring. The cursed stone passed from owner to owner, wandering all over the Orient and bringing misery and death. The last owner of the stone in India was the Maharaja, who was aware of the devastating fame of the Koh-i-Noor and decided to get rid of it, but didn't manage to do anything about it as he suddenly died from a grave illness. In Great Britain, it was decided to set the stone received as a gift into the royal crown. But since that time, only women wore it, and not by chance. The legend tells us that the stone brings trouble only for men. But what would happen if a man ever wore the British crown? The Codex Gigas, or the Giant Book, popularly known as the Devil's Bible, is considered a priceless example of a religious manuscript from the 13th century. It's not called the Giant Book for nothing. It's a very large medieval manuscript. Its height is 89 centimeters, width is 49 centimeters, and it weighs as much as 75 kilograms. At first sight, there's nothing unusual in the contents of the manuscript. On most pages, we see a richly illustrated text with religious context. But on page 290, we suddenly see a portrait of the devil. Curiously enough, on the next page is a picture of heaven. Admittedly, this isn't how you imagined it at all, is it? Since the discovery of the Codex, scientists have argued about how and why the devil's portrait appeared in the book. Some are even convinced that the Benedictines, in whose monastery the manuscript was created, were devil worshippers. There is, however, another chilling legend. According to it, a monk named Herman the Recluse was celled without the right to go for a serious violation of the monastery's regulations. In anger, Herman the Recluse promised the Benedictines that in one night he would write a book that would make their monastery famous. Calling on the devil for help, the monk did indeed finish the manuscript on time, but the devil left a mark in it, his own portrait. It sounds too fantastic, but not even modern scientists have a better explanation. Busby's stoop chair. What mystery could be hidden in the most ordinary wooden chair? But it's not for nothing that the Busby stoop chair has become one of the most popular exhibits in the Thirsk Museum. Legend has it that the object was cursed by the murderer Thomas Busby shortly before his execution in 1702. It's believed that before his execution, Busby cursed the chair in which he often sat in the local pub. 10 years after this incident, a chimney sweep came into the pub to rest. Later, he died, becoming the first victim of the curse. For more than 250 years, this chair has sent more than 60 people to glory. Each of them died after any contact with the chair. After a series of deaths, the owner of the pub where the chair stood turned it over to a local museum, where it now hangs at a height of half a meter. Most scientists, of course, doubt the reality of the curse of Busby, but the facts cannot be disputed. Damascus sword. We like to think that the modern world has absorbed all the knowledge of ancient civilizations. However, from time to time, archaeologists encounter artifacts that cannot be reproduced even with the most advanced technology. For example, the secret of Damascus steel swords production is still unsolved. Scientists believe that in ancient times such swords were extremely valued for their strength and balance. Legend has it that such a blade could cut in two a flap of silk that had fallen on its tip. Unfortunately, the art of forging such swords was lost. Modern scientists, having scanned the creation of ancient craftsmen, came to the conclusion that nanotechnology was necessary to create such metal. But in the Middle Ages, it was not known even about the existence of such a field of science. Could such a perfect creation have appeared as a result of a series of random experiments? I don't think so. But scientists are still unable to explain the nature of the unique ancient swords. In Sri Lanka's nature reserve, known as the Royal Goldfish Park, there is an amazing and difficult-to-explain sight, a legacy of the ancient civilization. The park is full of beautiful gardens and ruins of buildings from the 3rd century BC. But a strange drawing carved into the granite rock draws particular attention. The image is called Sakwala Chakraya, but it's also known as the Stargate of Sri Lanka. The gate is carved on the uneven surface of the granite rock in the form of a circular diagram. It's cut by shallow grooves in the curved surface. When viewed from the front, the diagram looks like a regular circle just under 2 meters in diameter, divided into rectangular segments with figures in the center. Most of the figures are images of a circle with a cross inscribed in it. The diagram is girded by a stripe showing various sea creatures swimming in a clockwise direction. But what does this circle mean? There are no such images in Hindu or Buddhist culture, so it turns out that the Stargate has nothing to do with religion. Nor have modern historians been able to explain the significance of the figures of unknown beings depicted on the edges of the figure. Could the image be a map of a parallel world, or a gateway through which ancient civilizations communicated with aliens? There are many hypotheses, but scientists have not yet been able to unravel the mystery of the Stargate. That's all, guys. What interesting and unexplained artifacts do you know? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.